Please don't forget subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified of new daily videos.
I'd always dreamed of a quiet life, away from the city's constant hum. When the dusty tome, a centuries-old independent bookstore in Oakhaven, went up for sale, I knew it was my chance. The town was sleepy, almost forgotten, nestled against a perpetually gray stretch of coastline. It was perfect. I was Yvette, and this was my new beginning. My first few weeks were a blur of unpacking boxes, dusting shelves laden with forgotten classics, and learning the peculiar quirks of the old building. The previous owner, an eccentric Mr. Sinclair, had left behind more than just books. There were odd contraptions, forgotten ledgers, and a general air of mystery that I found charming. I often chatted with Frederick, an old-timer who'd frequented the place for decades, about Mr. Sinclair's strange habits. One rainy afternoon, while trying to pry loose a particularly stubborn bookshelf in a back room, I noticed something. Behind it, not a wall, but a small, hidden recess. My heart hammered with the thrill of discovery. Inside, nestled amongst cobwebs and dust motes, sat a single, leather-bound journal. It was unmarked, no title, no author. The leather felt impossibly old, like dried skin. I carried it out into the dim light of the main store. The pages were brittle, filled with spidery, illegible script, but the first page was different. It was written in a clearer, more deliberate hand. To truly see, one must first surrender. Below it, a symbol, an eye but with cracks radiating from the pupil like a shattered lens. A shiver ran down my spine, but curiosity won out. I started to read. The script was difficult, arcane, but as I deciphered a few sentences, a strange sense of clarity did seem to settle over me. Like a film had been lifted from my eyes. I couldn't quite put my finger on what had changed, but the world seemed a little sharper, a little more defined. The next day I noticed the coffee tasted flat. Not bad, just profoundly uninteresting. The rich, earthy aroma that usually filled my small kitchen was barely there. I blamed the new brand of beans. Then my favorite lavender soap, usually so fragrant, barely registered. I thought I was coming down with something. I texted my friend Micah, back in the city, who just joked about Oakhaven turning me into a hermit. Days blurred into a peculiar sequence of fatting sensations. The vibrant blues of the ocean outside my window began to gray. The reds of the sunset bled into muted oranges, then washed out yellows. It was like living in a gradually desaturating photograph. Food became mere texture and sustenance. Music, once my solace, was just noise, a pattern of vibrations without soul or feeling. I tried to stop reading the journal, but a strange compulsion pulled me back to it each night. Each word I deciphered felt like another layer of reality being peeled away, leaving something stark and horrifying beneath. The initial clarity had curdled into a chilling perception. I started to see faint, pulsating patterns on surfaces, like the very fabric of the world was shimmering, dissolving at its edges. Then came the touch. My hands, once so sensitive to the paper of old books, felt numb. I could press, grasp, but the unique texture of leather, the cool smoothness of glass, the gentle warmth of my own skin, it was all gone. My body felt like a mechanism, responsive but utterly detached. A pervasive internal chill set in, regardless of the room's temperature. It was like the warmth had been siphoned directly from my core. I called Micah, frantic. "I can't feel anything, Micah. Not really. It's like I'm watching my life from inside a glass box and the glass is getting thicker." He tried to reassure me, suggested I see a doctor, blamed stress. He didn't understand. How could he? I was still talking, still walking, still managing the bookstore, but I wasn't there anymore. The truth the journal promised became agonizingly clear. Everything was decay. The crisp pages of a new book were merely a temporary pause in its disintegration. Frederick's kind, wrinkled face was just a roadmap of imminent collapse. The beautiful, rough ocean waves were merely the slow, inevitable erosion of the land. My own reflection was the most terrifying of all. My eyes, once warm, were vacant, reflecting nothing. My skin, though outwardly normal, felt like dried parchment to my numb touch, an empty vessel. I snatched the journal, determined to burn it to rid myself of this curse. I found an old metal waste bin and crumpled some newspaper, striking a match. The flame flickered, small and insignificant. It didn't feel hot. The smoke, thin and gray, held no acrid scent. I watched the first page curl and blacken, but there was no catharsis, no release. Only the cold, dead clarity of observation. The book felt impossibly heavy in my hands, a permanent fixture. It wouldn't burn because it already was me. I still sit in the dusty tome, surrounded by stories I can no longer feel, colors I can no longer see, and a world that is nothing but a horrifying, decaying truth. My body moves, my mind observes, but Yvette is gone. She surrendered. And now she truly sees. The enlightenment is complete. I can only watch now eternally. If you ever find a hidden journal, leave it where it lies.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button to like it. And please do subscribe to support the channel.